Good afternoon, morning, evening, or night, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alex, and this episode's subject comes in from Tango Lime. What are your opinions on indie games? Do you think they should be taken seriously and that they deserve more credit than most AAA games? I think AAA games and indie games at this point should be just on the same playing field, the same level. Because they both have their weird traits going on. I think no one should be writing off indie games, because indie games are where you're going to get all the creative ideas, the unique ideas, the new ideas. And I think people forget what some of the indie games actually are. Like, you have Limbo, Minecraft was an indie game, and now that's one of the biggest games ever. Things like Journey, Brothers, Fez, Bastion, one of my favourites. And even though I don't like it, things like Five Nights at Freddy's, they're all proving that they can be on the same level. Maybe not in terms of AAA values, as in like these big epic stories or anything like that, but taking unique and fun and, more importantly, original ideas and making them these cool little bite-sized things that you can just enjoy for however long they are. And in some cases, with things like Bastion, they do actually rival a lot of AAA games in a lot of ways. Like, sometimes they do have the better stories. Sometimes they do just feel grander and more well put together. A lot more stylish. I think the problem is that a lot of people associate indie games with being cheap and maybe not worth it, when that's totally not the case at all. Because I think it is, when we eventually get to an all-digital sort of future, I think people are just going to stop thinking about, sorting them by indie game and these AAA games, because you're just going to have the $60 games and then the 20 ones, and you're just going to think about it in price terms, based purely on the amount of content that's there. But in terms of them taking more credit, do they deserve more credit than AAA games? I don't think so. It's like with the movie industry saying that The Fast and the Furious is better than something like Nightcrawler or something, you know? Like these small movies that aren't all like Birdman. They each have their own category, their own thing that's going on. Because like the AAA game space, it's a weird one, because they have these huge bloated budgets and they have to sell a certain amount to be profitable. And at the same time, they can't take these risks that these indie studios can, because they need to provide a familiar thing that is going to sell and be recognizable and attractive for the already built-in audience there. That's why you've seen the total just depletion of that middle, the sort of B-tier studios. Things that like THQ, that were releasing the Darksiders and the Red Faction sort of things, they're just gone now, because these huge budgets just don't make sense for games like that anymore. The business just doesn't work like that. So I have nothing against indie games. Some of my favourite games are indie games, be it Guacamelee or Bastion, or you get these weird things now where, like, Child of Light, it feels like an indie game, but it's produced and made by a ridiculously huge company like Ubisoft, but I almost consider it to be an indie game because it's that sort of style of game, despite it having money behind it and everything and like that. I think the perception is just going to have to evolve and change as time goes on, as the industry grows, as indie games do fill in the gaps more, as more of these AAA studios wind down. Maybe we only have a few AAA releases a year eventually, because of these just budgets just can't sustain themselves. So if you somehow feel that indie games are lesser to you, I'd urge you to go and try some out, to try and be more open to them, because they are where all the creative flair is in the industry at the moment. So what do you think? What are some of your favourite indie games? Do you regard indie games as better or worse than AAA games? Tell me in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching. All comments and ratings are very much appreciated. And make sure you leave suggestions for future Jar Blabs. I'll see you next time. Bye. I'm going to tell you now, this is going to piss any Five Nights at Freddy's fan off, okay? Because I fucking hate these. I hate the games, I hate the series. I hear a lot of people saying, yeah, the games are fucking shit, but the story and lore is really interesting. Yeah, guess what? That doesn't make a good game. That doesn't make the games fun or playable, to me. You know, another game that has a really interesting backstory and stupid fucking plot that isn't in the game anyway is Destiny. No one gives that a free pass. People with horror games, people have such a low bar. They'll accept and eat up fucking